Hello, my dear friends. How are you doing? Hope you are having an amazing day and not having to deal with drama. Ready for new stories I have for you today? Let's go to the first one. And don't forget to listen to the end of the story, guys, to hear my insights. Enjoy the stories, and don't forget to like and subscribe. And of course, don't forget to leave a comment. I'm a father of 4 kids. My eldest, 29 female, from my first wife, then my stepson, 28 male, and my 2 other sons with my wife, 19 male and 17 male. For some background, my first wife passed away when my daughter was only 3. Before tying a knot, we dated for 7 long years, and my parents actually considered her as their second daughter. While I came from middle class, she came from a wealthy family. We met at a friend's wedding where she was bridesmaid and I was best man. We clicked immediately and never looked back. During our time while dating and marriage, she and her family helped my family a lot. For example, while we were dating, she offered to pay for my sister's education fully. And while me and my family protested, she offered it as a loan without interest, with her punchline like, "If we consider her family, then we will accept it." And then at our wedding, she gave my sister a loan paid off certificate, which said a loan fully paid with love when my sister was just a graduate from law school. My mom was a cleaning lady, and my dad was a construction worker. She helped my mom in opening her own cleaning service agency, and much more, and pushed for my father to start his own business, then just a manual labor job. It won't be too far if I said my parents love her more than they love me. Unfortunately, my wife died due to cancer when our daughter was only 3. Before dying, she, with the help of her twin brother, made some videos for my daughter for her every milestone, and few birthday videos, and even wrote letters to her which she entrusted me to give to her at the right time. But while doing all these things, she asked her mom and my mom to give my daughter an extra gift during holidays and birthdays, saying it's from mom. Well, then onwards, for every holiday, my daughter started getting 8 gifts from her mom, as all her and my siblings got my daughter an extra gift for her, saying it's from my mom, her, and my parents as well. Now, I married my now wife when my daughter was 8. That's when the first conflict started, that my stepson didn't get as many gifts as my daughter, due to her extra gifts from her mom. When I tried to talk to my family and ex-in-laws about it, my parents said that my now wife would not be in the picture if my first wife Sarah was alive, and this was Sarah's last wish for her daughter, so I should be ashamed to even talk about it to them. Whereas my ex-in-law said they're not concerned about my new wife and new family. If I see my daughter as a hindrance in my happiness, they will gladly take full custody of my daughter, while Sarah's twin brother was at my neck. Like I said, give no gifts to her. Well, I apologized to everyone, and talked to my wife, and asked her to drop it, but this has been a constant issue in our marriage. What I didn't know was that my wife then emotionally checked out from my daughter. She didn't mistreat her, but ignored her totally. With me being busy with work, I didn't notice that initially, but when I did and spoke to my new wife about it, she would always say, "Try being pregnant," or "She didn't sign up for this," or "She is busy with other kids, and my daughter should be able to take care of herself." Obviously, when Sarah's brother came to know about how their niece is being treated at home, they were livid. My parents and siblings were also mad at me, and then daughter started spending more time at her uncle's place or her grandparents', but mostly with Sarah's twin brother's family. When my daughter turned 14, she wanted to do summer jobs like her friends, so instead of letting her do normal babysitting job, which teenagers do, her uncles came up with the idea to let her do work in their respective companies as an intern, to see where her interest lies, and it will also help her in college applications. So from the age of 14 to 18, when my daughter is not paying for at all in her life, she got the job of an intern in her uncle and aunt's office, while getting paid at least minimum wage, if not more than that, or rather much more than that. My ex-father-in-law understood that this could spoil my daughter, so he came with the idea of charging her rent and a part of a utility bill to make her ready for the real world, while I was not ready to take money from my little girl after everything that has so far happened in her home life. But they convinced me that I can take this money and invest it under her name and give it to her when I feel right, which sounded like a great idea to me. So we charged my daughter rent of $100 and 1/4 utility bill, which she agreed without any fuss. Now, when I discussed this with my wife and said we can do the same for our other kids, she blew up at me, saying that I can do whatever I want with my daughter, but she will not let me charge rent to her kids while they are living with parents, no matter the age. I tried to explain to her, but she shut me down. Well, as all of you might have guessed, it worked in my daughter's favor. All those internships helped her understanding that she is good with numbers, and she would like to go for finance industry. She also got good scholarship, and I believe her resume did play a part. With her excellent grades, she basically completed her undergrad free, via scholarship, her college fund untouched, and still living at home. She could have moved in with her uncle, but I believe she stayed for me with the same rent and utility arrangement. When she went for her master's, she had to move out of state, and she got 50% scholarship. Well, after her master's, she joined her uncle's firm, where her mom was 50% partner, and now she is filling the shoes of her mom in her office. She is so much like Sarah. Now she is getting married to a wonderful guy, a close friend's son. I'm happy for her. Now, here's the problem. My sons are not as lucky as my daughter, especially my stepson. Well, due to how my wife treated my daughter, my ex-in-laws never offered these internship offers to my sons. My sons are not academically gifted as my daughter, and, well, as per Sarah's will, apart from the items willed to other family, everything else goes to my daughter, which is 80% of Sarah's estate. My parents, who have already made and discussed their will, and have warned my wife to not even try to tell them what to do or what not do, is everything will be divided equally between all their biological grandkids. My ex-in-laws have already mentioned whatever inheritance Sarah was supposed to get will now be given to her daughter. Now, my daughter invited me the other day for lunch and asked me if I could give her Sarah's pendant set and wedding ring for her wedding, which was willed to me, and I didn't see any point in denying this request. Well, I guess this is where I was the a-hole, as I didn't discuss anything about it with my wife. When I came home and told my wife about it, she as usual blew up at me, saying her son was planning to propose to his girlfriend with that ring, and my wife was planning to gift the pendant set to her niece, as she really loves it and is also getting married soon. I told her it is creepy, as both the items belong to Sarah, and my daughter has emotional attachment with these pieces. And I know the reason why Sarah gave it to me, and she also knows that I've already told her about it. Well, it was a yelling match, and all of my sons came out of their rooms to see what is happening, and they ganged up on me, saying that I always favor my daughter over them, saying that she should share her success with them rather than take something from them. It's like kicking someone when they're already down, and unless she apologizes for even asking this, they're not attending her wedding, and I should also support them now. Now, this is where I'm again the a-hole, because I lost my cool on their foolish request, and told them I'm not punishing my daughter for getting better opportunities in life, and if their mother was not beep to her, they might have not missed on those opportunities. Now, am I the a-hole for giving reality checks to my wife and sons? Well, I can say that OP married an evil woman. How in the world did she delude herself that she could distribute Sarah's jewelry? It occurs to me that OP's wife feels entitled to that jewelry because OP let her mistreat his daughter all those years. She probably feels she can make OP do anything. OP's stepson has a mother, father, stepfather, maybe a stepmom. And how many grandparents? But he needs OP's daughter's jewelry from her deceased mother? How entitled is that? I really don't understand why OP continued with such a selfish woman. She could have had a great opportunity for her son if she hadn't been spiteful and jealous. Shame on OP for allowing her to treat his daughter awful. And now let's see if the community agrees with me. Nitrox Buzz says, not the a-hole. Your second wife and son thought they were going to use your oldest daughter's mother's wedding jewelry to propose to his girlfriend? What planet are these people living on? The loss of her mother will never be equaled by any money or material items. Your current wife and son are complete and total a-holes who need to get their hands out of everyone else's cookie jars. Damn, I'd have to consider ending it based on this alone. Throw it away says, get that jewelry out of the house and in your daughter's hands before your wife steals it and gives it away. It's not hers. She was planning on giving it away without telling you. Get it the hell out of the house now. Not the a-hole for finally standing up to that a-hole. But you're the a-hole for allowing her to treat your daughter like that and for not stepping in sooner. One Awareness 3671 says, not the a-hole, but your wife is the architect of her downfall. If she didn't burn the bridges, her kids may get something as well. My dad died too young. He was only 65. Never got to enjoy retirement. Doctor says stress heart attack. He was bedridden, died a week later. That was 6 years ago. I was 30 and well into my IT career. He knew he was dying, asked me if I needed anything material. I said no, I just want him to live. He couldn't give me that. My mom felt the same, didn't want to live alone, so she lives with her sister, also widowed. My sister was 34, divorced, 2 children, struggling with money. Dad left her his house and, with Mom's blessing, most of his money. He gave me a generous sum for my future family, enough to my mom for the rest of her life. Sister asked me how to invest. I advised her. Now she coasts off her interests. She blogs, identifies as a writer. She tells her tween kids about how she worked and saved for her house. I get that you want to make your children value working hard, but when she says that stuff around me, I cringe. I'm not going to embarrass her in front of her own kids, though. She asked me to design her website. She's my sister, so of course I do it. On her About Me, she lists herself as a writer who raised 2 kids on her own. True. Who has business savvy and bought a huge house in a tough market. No mention that our parents spent decades paying for it. I say, sis, this is Mom and Dad's house and they paid for it. But she just, la la la, I'm not hearing you talk. I'm thinking, whatever. I now have my own family, wife and son, 2, I worry about. One day my sister throws a party to celebrate her self-published book about recipes. She invites me and my family and lots of her friends. So we're having a good time, talking this and that. Some of her friends talk to me, and they tell me how amazing my sister is. No problem there. They say how she's a genius for balancing 2 kids and saving up to buy her huge house. Apparently, she had been parlaying the fact that our dad has passed away to say my mom is also a single mom. All I say is, well, I grew up in this house too. My mom and dad bought it. He passed away and my mom agreed with my dad to leave it to her. My mom lives with her sister upstate. Several of her friends tell me about how my sister is so amazing to buy such a nice big house and juggle being a single mom. Often I just said, I grew up in this house too. Later on, my sister texted me the next day how I was a jerk for telling her friends that my dad willed her the house. I asked her, why am I a jerk? I was not being malicious. I was being accurate. She says that our dad wouldn't mind. And also, she says property tax is huge, so technically she's paying for the house and should be credited for that. She says I should stop saying she inherited the house when people ask. I say I will refuse to say anything when asked about the house, but that I will not say inaccurate things. She says I'm being a jerk and a hater. Am I the a-hole? OP is definitely not in the wrong, but his sister sounds like a pathological liar, or worse. She's inventing a new life and rewriting her life to fit her narrative. It's weird. If anything, I would say she's cheapening her dad's last gift to her, and it's disrespectful to him that she lies about it. So, no, OP is not also going to disrespect his father's memory by lying about it. If she wants to lie, OP can't stop her, but she can't demand that OP lies too. And now let's see if the community agrees with me. Fluid Letterhead says, not the a-hole. Your sister is missing something in her life if she has to lie to people about her accomplishments. Stop caring about her lies and just keep your distance so your kids and hers can still be cool. You probably have more important things to do besides being the truth police. It will come out in the end somehow. 87 North says, not the a-hole. Just because your sister is keeping it a secret on how she obtained the house does not mean that you have to play along in her little game. You didn't go out of your way to tell the world that she inherited the house, post it on social media, call up all her friends, etc. You were in a conversation about the house, your childhood home. You have every right to explain that you too grew up in that house when you were discussing it. ManelCat123 says, not the a-hole. She's effectively trying to erase your childhood, not to mention how confusing it's got to be for her kids, who probably remember visiting Grandpa in that house. Boyfriend has had 4 cars in the 2 years I've known him. One was totaled in an accident, but the others he just gets sick of and trades in. Every time there is negative equity, even though once I helped him pay $6,000 of it. So now he is $12,000 underwater on the current car, which is a brand not known for reliability, so it's always needing expensive maintenance. He found out by accident after we started dating that I am wealthy. It is all saved and invested so that it can keep growing for me, but he could tell by my house. I drive a car worth only about $6,000. Since he found this out, he keeps asking if I would consider paying off the $22,000 loan on his current car, of which $12,000 is underwater. He also keeps mentioning that he wants to put Apple CarPlay in it for another $600, which I think is ridiculous since it already has phone-connected music, just not CarPlay. I already gifted him CarPlay on one of the previous cars, so it's annoying to be asked for it on the next one. Then yesterday, he mentioned again that he'd like help buying a second vehicle, a truck to drive to and from work so that he doesn't put miles on the current car. He's mentioned this several times, but then yesterday he texted me links to some listings. His birthday is coming up, and he worked down a list of asks. First, If I'd pay off the current one, which I said no. Then if I'd help with the truck. Then if I'd get him CarPlay for his birthday. I said it creeped me out being asked for specific gifts. I've never had someone request a gift for a holiday or birthday, let alone a car. Then he brought up a sport bike because they're cheap. I feel like not getting him anything for his birthday because of this, or only taking him out to dinner, and that's all. Well, I think OP is in the wrong here, because she is allowing him to use her as an ATM. I would be uncomfortable being in a relationship with a person who is trying to make me buy them expensive things, or expecting me to pay up their loans. She needs to dump him and find someone who respects her, because it's only going to get worse. And now let's hear the community's opinion. Basic Regret 6263 says, Info. Is this a kept man situation where you're paying for some sugar? If so, obviously you should pay up. If this isn't a compensated dating situation, you should probably dump this guy. He's a black hole of money and will always want more. Lanus Ecosasis says, Not the a-hole. Your boyfriend is a gold digger. You are an ATM subsidizing his stupid financial decisions. Historian Over 3043 says, Not the a-hole, but wake up. He is your boyfriend because you are his cash cow. Stop buying him anything, and I guarantee you he will drop you. Don't be the a-hole. Drop this parasite.